Big update for altcoin season as XRP and Solana get some fantastic news that they could be about to go crazy in the near future based off some news that's happening right now. But it's not just them. The whole altcoin season is going to explode. We're further looking at the evidence that says you guys should not be considering selling anything right now. You should be looking only to add to your bags, because if you don't think it's fun already, just wait for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. We got some big things happening. You'll want to stick around for the entire show and not miss a single second of it. But first, make sure to smash that like, hit that subscribe, and we've got to roll an intro. All right, everybody, welcome into the Investing Bros live show. We've got a good one lined up. I see some people already in chat saying, man, I've been talking about HBAR, I've been talking about ICP, I've been talking about this, that, and the other. Listen, at this point in the altcoin season, everything is looking very, very juicy. If you ask me right now, Tim, is my coin going to fly? Probably. The answer is probably. But we'll get to some Q&A possibly later in the show. We got a lot of news. Got a lot of charts to look through today to take a look at just what's exploding, what's not. But first, I want to introduce these two fine gentlemen right here, starting off with my man Smaynold. Well, Smay, how you doing, Smay?
Well, you know, Tim, I have to say I'm happy to be back home and settled in, and I'm ready for more of this pumping in the crypto market.
There we go. What about my other guy over here, Tshroom? Looking good today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling more bullish than I deserve, Tim. Really starting to feel the tailwinds start to fill up the sails of the crypto markets. A lot. We've been through several weeks of ups and downs, and some people unfortunately have capitulated and sold. But I do think those who have stuck around and hodled are going to be rewarded very, very soon.
Yeah,
January 20th,
I agree.
not too far away.
Yeah, that's Monday. Monday is going to be a pretty special day, and there's a lot of reasons why. But listen, we're going to talk a lot of news here, so stick around. Really quickly, before we jump into charts and everything else, we're going to change things up a little bit. And for all of you guys who joined in early, you're not going to have to wait. Tshroom, let's do a quick 1-minute rundown. What are the articles, what are the stories that people are going to be looking forward to discussing on today's show?
Absolutely. President-elect Donald Trump is open to creating an America-first strategic reserve that prioritizes cryptocurrencies such as Solana and XRP. Fed Governor Waller sees potential for multiple interest rate cuts in 2025. Coinbase launches Bitcoin loans for U.S. users. The Securities and Exchange Commission officially files appeal in the Ripple XRP lawsuit. Pro-crypto Tom Emmer has been appointed as vice chairman of the subcommittee on digital assets, financial technology, and artificial intelligence. And that was our last one. So very cool set of news headlines there.
With the exception of one headline, it is all bullish. And even that one, we'll get into the discussion portion of it with the SEC and Gary Gensler's going away present to the American people. Of course, again, I told you the 20th is a big deal for a plethora of reasons. Some of you might be saying, Tim, what are you talking about? Other than the inauguration, what's going on? Well, guess what? Other than the inauguration, Gary Gensler is no longer going to be chairman of the SEC. So I think we can all celebrate. In fact, put some confetti and celebrations in chat right now if you guys are excited about Gary Gensler's retirement. That would be amazing. With that said, let's go check out what's happening in the market, starting off with our bubbles. And while it's a lot of green here, with the exception of a couple coins, mostly virtual and AI16Z is the one kind of bringing us down. Got a lot of big stuff going up today. XDC behind me up 17.8. HBAR, as someone said in chat, up 20.9%, almost 21% in the last 24 hours. How about Litecoin? Litecoin is up 20%. Now, I don't want to get people's hopes up too high here. I told you guys I'm bullish on crypto, and I'm not bearish on Litecoin, right? I'm not saying that Litecoin's about to crash and burn and go to zero. There are a couple of coins in crypto that just do not move the needle for me when it comes to exciting movements and bullish potential. And Litecoin's one of those. But you know what? We got to give it its flowers on its day where it's one of the biggest movers. It's up 20%. EOS is up. XRP, of course, is up. And again, that's XRP kind of dealing with both sides of the news today. I mean, in the last 24 hours, they got some bad news. You got some good news. Overwhelmingly, though, the good news is outweighing it. Speaking of XRP, and we're going to talk about XRP TA more later on, new all-time highs have officially been hit. Of course, we were tracking the former all-time highs had been set way back here. Let's go back on the weekly chart. Way back here in January of 2018. XRP briefly hit $3.31.7. Well, today, that has been broken. If I can keep going over there, we go. Today, the high as of right now, $3.40. XRP does have itself a brand new all-time high. It's only the beginning. We're going to go a lot higher, but I'm going to save the XRP technical analysis for a little bit later on. Let's just spend a second over here on Bitcoin. Now, we did not have a live show yesterday, and we did miss seeing you guys. Of course, we were kind of getting off that whole long week of planning. We had a lot of travel going on. We did not have a live show yesterday, but Bitcoin did go berserk. I mean, it made its way back up above 100,000 briefly. We're currently trading right at that level. But we told you guys, if you were here on the show Tuesday, we said before Bitcoin had made that big move that the level you should be watching, if you were looking out for a potential resistance, we told you about the falling channel, the descending channel. That's this red line right here, this green line right here. This is historically very bullish formation, but we knew that right as we eclipsed 100,000, this would be a level to keep an eye on. The other reason was this would be the lower level of the smart trail on the daily chart. Of course, I'm talking about the smart trail from Lux Algo. It is the number one trading indicator out there. There's a reason why we use it every single day on the show, because to this day, I've never found anything better at helping me determine the most significant levels of support and resistance, as well as when are the best times to be buying, when are the best times to be selling using their Lux Algo oscillator. If you want to use Lux Algo, go sign up with the link down below. And also, guess what? I saw this question in chat. It was a comment I was reading through this morning. Someone was saying like, hey, can someone teach us how to use Lux Algo? The tool looks really good, but I don't know how to use it. When you sign up for Lux Algo, the cool things you guys get, number one, you get the tool, right? That's really cool. Number two, when you use our link, you get 20% off, but also you get free access to our VIP trading group where I will show you my live trades and help walk you through your own trades. And I created a whole Lux Algo tutorial over there that you do get access when you sign up. So if you've been on the fence about Lux Algo, you don't know how to use it, but you really want to, not a better day to start than today. A lot of great things happening over there in our VIP trading group. Let's get into some details that I want to kind of discuss here. What are we looking for as a whole with Bitcoin? I'm going to reiterate what I talked about 2 days ago, but I'm going to assume we have some new people in here that weren't watching. And I want to make sure you guys are aware of what strategy is the smartest strategy for handling the current movement on Bitcoin. If you did not get in with us on our trade the other day, back down towards $91,000, that's okay. There's going to be opportunities in the future to enter into trades. But what you're watching at the moment with all of this resistance is, well, I think there's a very, very good likelihood that we're going to break to the upside. And you could try to jump the gun and enter the long right now. What you're wanting to look for, what you're waiting to see, is a break above this resistance level, right? We're currently rejecting at it. You want to see a high volume breakout above, and then what you would be doing is you would be setting up your long position, right? So you want to buy on the high volume breakout. You're probably having to wait until closer to 102, 103, because that's when the volume's going to come in. You're going to put your stop loss slightly below the last major level of support. That's this candle right here that we set early this morning when we wicked down briefly to 97,300. That is a now strong higher low. Then you can do your take profit wherever you want. I'll tell you, I'm probably going to leave a take profit off. I believe we're at the part of the bull market, the part of the bull cycle where even if bearish indicators come in, you're probably not going to see a strong rejection. I'll talk more about that here in a second, but what I want to kind of reiterate to you is if you did want to choose a target and say, hey, where is a good level that the next Bitcoin breakout could face some strong resistance, especially in price discovery mode? Well, remember I told you this is called a descending channel, this red and green line, what you do is you take the opening of that channel, right? So you take from this opening over here on December 10th to the first resistance touch here on December 17th. You move this over to a possible breakout. Again, let's assume that's going to be happening either today or tomorrow. And we give ourselves a price prediction somewhere just above $115,000. So in that really simple scenario, you could enter this long position. Again, put your stop loss below this wick, and then you could put your take profit bare minimum there around 115,600. All right, there's some free trading, a free trade setup that you can use right now on Bitcoin. Again, I'm now going to get into why I don't think you should be putting your take profit there, but I'm going to leave that up to you because I'm not a financial advisor, and you never go broke taking profit. This is the part of the cycle. If you were not here 4 years ago or 8 years ago or 12 years ago, which, 12 years ago, it's a little harder to say that's the same because really it was Bitcoin and a bunch of coins that no longer exist. But my overall take here is this is the part of the cycle where you will feel or you'll have the urge to turn bearish. You're going to see some major bullishness. You might even start to see major resistance get hit, bearish divergences. Heck, even Lux Algo's indicators might show you some negative signs, right? So levels you probably should sell off. This is the part of the cycle that you will not catch me selling any of my crypto. I might look to get a hold of some dips to buy even more into the rally. But this is the part where the bears get rocked. They will think that they're onto something. They will see the bearish divergence. They'll see the oversold levels. They might even get a couple sell signals, and they'll think this is the perfect time for a nice 15, 20% pullback on Bitcoin because we're so overextended. And then Bitcoin's just going to go up and up and up and up. And that's just Bitcoin. If you think that that's crazy, wait till you see some of these altcoins. I think a lot of people are watching crypto content right now, whether on X or on YouTube, and they hear some of the older influencers, people that have been around the block. They hear them talking about altcoin season and how things are about to get really crazy. You see these price predictions like Cardano to $7 or Chainlink to $400 or XRP up to $16. And they're just thinking, man, like, I don't see it. Like, these things look bullish, and I'm really excited about the altcoin season, but we can't get that high, right? That's just astronomically high, right? Altcoin season, this part of the bull cycle, what we are watching unwrap today is the part where it starts to drop your jaw. And only people here 4 years ago will have that memory of that feeling. For the rest of you, you can trust me. You can say, you know what, Tim, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to kind of follow your advice blindly here. Nothing can prepare you for the amount of bullishness that we are about to see. Heck, even those of us who were here 4 years ago, we're probably still going to be astounded. It's probably going to surprise us. But my overall take here is look for long positions. I'm talking to all our traders out there. Look for long positions. Look for pullbacks to add in on. But unless you have a lot of experience, unless you're really paying attention only to like the 1 minute and 5 minute chart for the sake of scalping, my free advice of the day is do not try to short these rallies because that will get you wrecked. But when you long, when you're buying, when you're bullish, you're going to make a lot of money here over the next couple of weeks, months, heck, I think over the next year at least, you're going to have your portfolio go crazy, crazy high. But we'll talk more about that with specific altcoins. I want to get into the news. Like we said, there's a lot of news that we got to get into today. We'll bounce back and forth between the news and the charts, but we got to start with the biggest story of the day affecting two of the largest cryptocurrencies, two altcoins that are fan favorites here at the Investing Bros, and that is XRP and Solana. For more on that, I'm going to throw it over to Tshroom. Tshroom, why are we so bullish right now on these two coins?
Yeah, well, it's really because it looks like Donald Trump is kind of expanding his horizons here. The headline from Watcher.Guru says President-elect Donald Trump is open to creating an America First strategic reserve that prioritizes cryptocurrencies such as Solana and XRP. So, I haven't seen too much of validation of this outside of this tweet from Watcher.Guru, but I will say they are usually extremely reliable. And this, to me, is new. This is pretty new. This isn't something that anybody has been talking about until today, which is a strategic reserves that includes something other than Bitcoin. One crypto that's not on this list is Ethereum. So, I don't know that this is the end all be all of this specific tweet, there will be more commentary around this. But so far, Tim, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is big. This is big stuff right here. Of course, with Bitcoin going into that field of being a reserve, that's absolutely massive, because that's going to be billions and billions of dollars of coins that will not be on the selling market. A reserve, the whole point of a reserve is you stockpile and you stockpile and you stockpile, and they're there for an extremely bad rainy day. This now being added and saying, hey, XRP and Solana are a part of it. There's two reasons I'm bullish. Number one, on the just the surface, that they're being considered reserves, that's awesome, right? The fact that they'll be held for a long time, that's awesome. But what's even more so is the further confirmation this speaks to institutions, to MAGA holders. I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you think that the majority of retail is in the market right now, I don't know what to tell you other than you're wrong. There's a lot of people still on the sidelines. But you want to know one of the people groups, the section that I think is about to come in big. They probably started dabbling, but they're about to come in really big, is the MAGA holders. I'm not saying that no MAGA holders are invested. Of course, there's probably a lot of people who are big Trump supporters who have been in crypto for a long time, but I'm talking about the boomers, the later Gen Xers, the people who they've never thought about investing a day in their life. In fact, probably 4 years ago, because Trump was anti-crypto, they were probably extremely outspokenly against crypto. But now that Trump is warming up to the whole concept and you start seeing him add it to his portfolio, how many of those people alone are going to start stockpiling the same exact coins? And the reason I know this is because I'm related to MAGA voters. I'm related to people who just think that Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And because of that, they're now asking me questions about cryptocurrencies. They're not ready to buy just yet because they want to move some things around, which is, again, why we're not close to the top. But the mere fact that this is happening, we're going to see, again, MAGA voters come in. We're going to see more people come in. We're going to see institutions be more comfortable. What is more comfortable to an institution about an asset than a government, the largest government of the free world, saying, hey, we're going to start buying this and holding it in our reserves to protect our wealth? This move has ripple effects that we probably can't even fully comprehend just how bullish they'll be. I'm just going to start by saying buy more XRP and Solana because price is about to shoot to the upside quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Some comments on this tweet that they're talking about this cryptocurrency strategic reserve. That's a little bit of a deviation from the Bitcoin only strategic reserve. Some of the comments point out, is it really, because at this point it's still speculation if XRP is going to make it into some kind of strategic reserve for the United States, right? Some of the comments point out quite aptly, I'd say, that it wouldn't make a ton of sense to put XRP in there as a lot of the coins are still held by the organization. There's a very robust centralized organization behind XRP, so that could potentially be some breaks, some obstacles towards XRP getting into a strategic reserve. It also would ask the question, well, hey, if XRP is getting in there, why wouldn't shares of Apple or Google or Amazon or ExxonMobil be able to go into a strategic reserve? So that's some of the reasons why we may not see this. But at this point in time, right, it doesn't matter because the information is traveling faster than the doubts. So very, very bullish for XRP, obviously getting a huge breakout as a result of this news.
Now, before we get in the charts here, Tshroom, because we're going to take a look at XRP charts, Solana charts. Again, they've had some big pumps even since this news broke. I already see it in chat. There's some people in chat saying, well, what about the fact that the SEC is appealing the XRP ruling? So before we leave the topic, let's cover both sides of the coin here, right? I said in the intro, there's some good news, there's some bad news. What is happening with the SEC? What's happening with XRP? And then we'll break that down and get into the charts and show you guys what exactly to be looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is some more information here. The lawyer Stuart Alderati says, as expected, the SEC's appeal brief is a rehash of already filed arguments and likely to be abandoned by the next administration. So this was the tweet about that. But this is the outcome here. So the SEC officially files the appeal in the Ripple XRP lawsuit. Now, this is Where is this likely to go, though, is the question, because it's one thing to file an appeal. It's another thing to get that appeal to go your way in the courts. So it's a little bit of bad news, but it kind of leaves folks scratching their head. Like, why would the SEC do this? They know it's just going to get melted away by the new Trump administration. So it's a little bit of a strange move, but maybe it's just to counter all the positivity in the current XRP news cycle that we're in.
No, I think you're onto it there. It makes very little sense. If you're trying to rationalize what's going on here, it makes very little sense. And I think it's going to be, for lack of a better way to put it, a nothing burger when it's all said and done. Why is that? Well, first of all, it's one last middle finger to the entire American people, because even just the filing of that costs taxpayer dollars. What's going to happen, though, here in 4 days? Not only is Trump going to become president of the United States, and on day one is enacting a bunch of pro-crypto bills. I'm very excited to see what the exact details of all of those are. But even more so, Gary Gensler is stepping down. A lot of other SEC goons that are kind of anti-crypto are stepping down. Anything that they're doing right now, they're doing these appeals. Let's say he throws out another lawsuit. Day one of the next regime of the SEC, they're going to go and just say, all right, we're done with these lawsuits. Never mind, Judge. We are not pursuing the appeal anymore. So I don't really understand what he's doing aside from just one more FU. I mean, that's that. He's done that to the crypto community and the American people the entire time he's been in his position. I'm talking about Gary Gensler. And this is his final goodbye, his final hoorah. Ultimately, though, if you're asking what does this mean for your XRP holdings, look at the charts. The charts will tell you what you need to know. The charts are saying this is a nothing burger. The charts are giving us brand new all-time highs and showing us we're a long, long way from this rally being over. So we want to cover that. We want you to be aware of it. But if you fell for that FUD, if you think there's any significance to it, we'll monitor it. If we're wrong and there is something more important, we'll cover that. But as of right now, there's nothing on the horizon about this appeal that looks like it'll have any type of long-term effect on the markets. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump on. If you guys are excited, we got 1,000 people in here right now. Smash that like button. Let's get those likes up very, very quickly. Again, a great day to be in crypto. Let's take a look at XRP, and then we'll take a look at Solana. I saw someone in the comments say, we're pulling back right now. Well, yes, technically, you guys can see we have a little blue candle, but take a look. There's been several blue candles in this rally here on the 4-hour chart. I wouldn't fret about it too much. In fact, on the 4-hour chart, which I think would be a very significant chart to be monitoring this, you really shouldn't be fretting until we see, or if we see, a $2.77 XRP. I'd be extremely surprised if that were to be on the horizon anytime soon for XRP. In fact, may never happen again. But yeah, if we start to lose some major support on the 4-hour chart, then you might have a case that not even freak out, just say, okay, looks like this rally's coming to a close. But what I'm going to kind of spend some time here, we didn't quite hit it perfectly, but we got very, very close. If this is a pullback, and we do see sustained multiple blue candles, multiple bearish candles. Remember, we did tell you guys that there was a breakout. If you looked at the symmetrical triangle pattern, let's focus on what that is in case anyone is feeling a little lost here. We recently in XRP, if you go back to December 1st, right? So over a month now, we got into a consolidation zone. The green line, which is a little covered by the yellow. Let's get rid of these yellow lines because at the moment they're not very important. The green line here is a rising level of support. We had 3 different touches. You could make the argument we kind of started this whole thing way back here during this hesitation on November 30th, but we'll talk about the first major support back here on December 10th. You take the opening of this formation. So I'm going to go from the top. The first time we hit resistance here, again, around December, this says December 3rd, give or take. So we'll go December 3rd. I did not grab that tool correctly. There we go. And you come down to the same length of where we were December 10th. I want to make this as straight as possible so it's not a slanted line. But you take the opening of this formation, you move it over to the breakout or the retest of the former resistance level, which is what we just did back here on January 13th. And this gave us a call slightly higher than what we currently are, about $3.55. We made it, of course, to $3.40. But I'm going to say, like, this is a pretty good, this good enough for government work, you could say. Got close enough. Rarely do we hit these things right on the dot. It is just a zone, though, that you're going to see other analysts looking at. And of course, it makes a lot of logical sense that the level we actually rejected on was the all-time high from so many years ago. Does that mean the rally is over? Heck no. We just told you, don't be surprised if there is some resistance in this world. Why? Because it was former all-time highs, because it is the breakout of the conservative symmetrical triangle pattern. I'm not surprised whatsoever if there's some form of a pullback. And before I move on and look at the longer term bullishness here, let's just kind of focus on shorter time frames here. Again, 4-hour chart, we're going to start seeing some bearishness start to pile up. I'm not getting a sell signal here on the 4-hour chart. What I am seeing is overextended oscillators, that we've been living in an overextended world. But guess what? During that whole time, we flashed bearish divergence and oversold right here when the price was only 285, and we've just continued to climb to the upside. What is that? That's classic bull market conditions, where this was an argument right here. Anyone looking at the charts and seeing double bearish divergence, seeing red reversal, seeing all these bearish dots come in, you could have made a very rational, explainable excuse to say it's time to short XRP, and it would have made sense from a technical analysis standpoint. What's my point here? This is the part of the cycle where you cannot go like that. You have to understand that even when the bears think that they have something going for them, they end up getting crushed. Now, what I'll say is we've trickled now sideways with these oscillators. We still have a lot of reversals flashing. And what I don't love is the excessive buyers coming in. This is the 4-hour chart. We're not talking about a new bear market starting, but we are talking about potentially a decent little pullback to come back in and take us back down towards that 4-hour smart trail. But I can't guarantee that that's going to happen, because, again, we had major sell signals here yesterday or 2 days ago, and they did nothing to stop the price of XRP. What you're going to want to keep an eye out for is, do we actually officially get a sell signal where we have the reversals? Does the oscillator start to go down? Does the money flow and the excessive buyers, that bright green spot, does it pop and we start to make a dramatic pull to the downside, kind of similar to maybe what we saw back here around January 2nd, where guess what? Red reversals, bearish momentum, excessive buyers, they left, the money flow goes down. During that time frame, it's not like we had a massive drop on XRP price, but I do believe it made its way back down to the smart trail, which is exactly what I think it's going to. If we get a sell signal on the 4-hour chart, that's exactly where I would have it going here as well. And guess what? That level 277, this is actually climbing. The reason I say 277 is probably not going to happen is because this smart trail hasn't even leveled out yet, right? It's still trending to the upside. So until I actually start to see it round over and flatten out, it's hard to use the smart trail as a horizontal level of support. And all that being said, we don't even officially have a 4-hour sell signal yet, but we are on watch. We're waiting to see, does that 4-hour bubble pop? To see more of that and maybe get an early call, let's take a look at what's happening on the 1-hour chart, where you are seeing several candles up here look like they're exhausted. They want to take some cooling off. We had some double bearish divergence here as well. What is the oscillator over here saying? Over here, you're actually going to find we are officially under a sell signal with a red reversal. Of course, the bearish divergences are coming in, but we have negative momentum in our oscillator and negative money flow. Very clear negative money flow. Okay, well, all that says is that XRP more than likely wants to make its way back down here somewhere between 315 and about 309. When it gets down there, that's going to be very important. We'll kind of have to be able to stop right there with a short-term analysis on XRP. What happens when/if, because I can't guarantee what's coming down here because it's a bull market, but I would be surprised. I think there's a very good likelihood you will see a 315 XRP soon. Then it's time to come up to the 4-hour chart and say, well, what's the 4-hour chart doing? Did we officially get a sell signal? And are we potentially talking about sub $3 levels before the next rally? That's what you have to kind of watch over the next couple of hours, next couple of days. Now I'm going to transition, though, and tell you, do not freak out. Let's pretend we did come down here and come back down towards 280. Let's just go 280, give or take, right? And then make a bounce. Even on a short time frame, it's very easy to look at this on the 4-hour chart and notice that's simply another higher low in a bullish trend that we've already had 1, 2, 3 of these before. This would not be a big deal at all. In fact, the pullback, let's pretend that zone ends up happening. We're only talking about a measly 15% pullback for something that has just tore, over the last couple of days, has torn up over, I'm blocking it all, 70%. So not a big deal whatsoever. So I want to make sure, even if you see these pullbacks, this is why you buy it and why you do not turn bearish, because this is a very mild pullback. And even though we covered the first conservative run here, the one that you should be looking for and the one that you should be thinking about with this news of the United States government is going to be looking into using XRP as reserves. We know that President Trump has met with Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple. So you can't even say this doesn't even make logical sense. We're looking at a breakout over the next year that XRP could make its way up here above $11. And that's just the beginning. I think there's still a case with the news like this that $16 to $20 starts to become a very interesting spot to keep an eye on. Of course, the reason why $16 becomes very interesting is because $16 would be the equivalence or the price of XRP if XRP hits a $1 trillion market cap. I'm not guaranteeing that XRP hits a $1 trillion market cap, but that's where that number is coming from. That's very interesting. And that's going to be a psychological level for investors as well. When they see that asset get to 1 trillion, that could be very interesting. Just to put that into perspective for all of you, let's go to market cap real quick. XRP currently trading around 190 billion. So not a 10x from here, a little bit more than a 5x. But I think this is absolutely, absolutely doable. That's why $16 seems so intriguing to me for XRP. To all of my XRP members out there, though, if you guys are watching right now and you love XRP, listen, I love you. I'm so glad you found the channel. You're not going to find us being the channel that says that XRP is making it to $100 or $480 or $5,000, at least in this bull market without hyperinflation. Why? That just doesn't mathematically make sense. To get to $100, I mean, do the math for yourself. If 1 trillion only gets us to $16, how many trillions of dollars would the market cap have to be to get us to an $100 XRP, right? We don't live in la land here. We are bullish on XRP. We do love it. We do think this is going to be probably the number 3 altcoin continuing. And based off how Ethereum's acting, you can't rule out that XRP doesn't pass Ethereum. I think that would have more to do with an Ethereum disappointment than an XRP run. But I digress. I want to make sure it's clear here. XRP is a special coin and is far from the top of its bull market. But $100, let's cool it. Let's come back down to the real world. $100 is not happening in this bull market. Let's take out Solana. That was the other coin that's benefiting from this news. Of course, Solana popping off here as well. Maybe not as much as some other coins, but it's back above some resistance we had faced recently. It's back up here above $200. What is it saying here in the short term? It's not as bearish as XRP. Again, we're not getting major bearish divergences. While the oscillators are high, the red reversals are coming in, the money flow is high, you don't see that excessive buyers on the 4-hour chart that builds up a bubble that, more often not pops. Again, here's a good example of it. Solana had a bubble pop back here on January 2nd. And for the bulls, the bullish bubble popped. We also had a bearish bubble pop back here on January 9th. Look at how price responded during these times. A big pullback on Solana after the bullish bubble popped. And then even though we had to wait for one more pullback, we're getting a nice rally now that the bearish pop happened. We're back to the upside squarely. So that's why I'm saying it's a big deal. We don't have this on the 4-hour chart. And what I'm saying right here is I'm not looking at this chart saying, man, I want to buy this right now. It's definitely overbought at the moment. But I take back to the beginning of what I said during this whole segment. This is the part of the bull cycle. You do not bet against the bulls. You simply wait for the pullbacks to buy in. Let's check out the 1-hour chart and see what it is saying. Should we be concerned whatsoever? No, this is absolute chaos what's happening here. This is just consolidation, really, of the oscillator. We had a mini sell signal right in here. Did it even hit its level? It did, right? So you had a mini sell signal. You did get a touch off that hourly smart trail, but we have now regrouped. This is not a bearish chart. It's not a pretty chart. I'll be very clear. This is not a pretty chart in the least, but this is the type of chart with this high volume coming in here on this big move with us not necessarily getting increased volume saying we're having selling pressure. My best guess, this is a short-term consolidation before the next big run up here on Solana. We are not far away. Let me turn some noise off here. We're not far away from getting back up here, not to brand new all-time highs, but to it is close to brand new all-time highs because back when we set these highs in November, we didn't quite get to all-time high for Solana, which is sitting right here. Let me fact check this to make sure I'm not misspeaking. Former all-time high is sitting here at 267. We are absolutely here at 213 within striking distance of that. Don't be surprised if you see some hesitancy at it. Again, I'm not going to say we're going to blast through it like it's nothing, But my best guess is this was the big rejection from that indicator, and now it is time to make a move to the upside. In fact, you can make a very good argument on the macro perspective. I don't love this pattern being played out and being utilized too heavily. In fact, I rarely see the cup and handle really be that special. But what we have going on here with this recent double top, you absolutely have yourself a cup right here. And then whether you want to call that the handle, which it wouldn't be, but if you want to call this the handle, this could be the big breakout to the upside where it's not gonna blow your socks off right here. So don't treat this as like this is the bull market top projection. But in the very least, you take that small regrouping from that double top, you move that back up here. This would send Solana's price up over $400, a price that I do think is absolutely on the table before March, the next time period where I would be looking for some sort of a healthy correction. But I want to be clear here, and I haven't said that on this show yet. I've said in other shows. When am I looking to sell? What time? What's the next timeline that I should be looking and saying, you know what, it's probably time to take some profit and look for a larger pullback? It's going to be March or April. Historically, once altcoin gets season, once altcoin season, that was dyslexic right there. Once altcoin season gets going, right? And this is what we're seeing happen right now. You have a run for roughly 2.5 to 3 months, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little less, but you have that run. And then you start to look for those repeated oversold markers. That's your clue to take some profit. Look for a healthy correction. On XRP and Solana, I would not be surprised to see 30, 40% on the table. Then the bull market starts again for wave 2 of the altcoin season. That's what we're looking at right now. But Solana to $400 by that March level, I don't even know if that's bullish enough. I think there's a very realistic chance Solana's closer to 500 come March or April time before it gets its nice 30, 40% correction. But we're going to take a break from those real quickly. We did get some super chats in here. We got some more news. Today is going to be a longer show more than likely. Ultimately, the concept, whenever we have price action like this and we have news like this, you guys really decide how long the show goes. As long as you guys are asking questions and getting feedback and telling us what you guys want to hear about, we don't have this timetable today at 4 o'clock on the dot. We got to stop. So with that said, we got more news to cover, but first let's cover the super chat that just came in from BitFunded. He said, hey there, good content. Check us out. We are the first crypto prop pro firm. Okay. BitFunded. I've never heard of BitFunded. We are getting more of these super chats where people are promoting themselves, but hey, thank you for the donation. Do your research. If BitFunded is solid, I have no idea. I can't answer that off the top of my head if they're solid or not, but yeah, check them out. John with the super chat said, should I switch my SUI position over to Solana? Doesn't SUI have a better chance of making more money? Yeah, John, I would say I would probably leave my SUI as it is. And the reason why is because kind of what you're just saying right there. Let's take a quick look over here at crypto market cap and kind of just understand what's going on here. By no means do I think that SUI is going to gain a higher market cap or gain more to its market cap than Solana. Solana currently trading with about $104 billion market cap. I think this is a coin that could be around the 400 to 500, maybe $600 billion market cap area. I think there's a chance it goes closer towards 1 trillion, but I would hold off on saying that. That's a big market cap. We're talking about adding 4, 5, maybe $600 billion to the market cap. SUI's not going to sniff a 400 or $500 billion market cap itself. It's currently trading here around 15 billion. This is one I expect. I think on the high end could be maybe in the world of 200 billion. I think realistically we're talking about 100 to 150 billion. Either way, what you need to know is that a $15 billion portfolio going to 200 billion is a much larger increase to the price than a 100 billion going to a $500 billion market cap. So I would not be switching my SUI to Solana because the SUI holding has the greater potential for upside. But I wouldn't be changing my Solana out for SUI. I would want to keep that healthy diversification. Solana is more of my sure thing, is more of my safe 4 or 5x from here. And SUI is more of my, it's not risky, but it's riskier than Solana. Probably closer to like a 7, 8, 9x would be what I'd be expecting from my SUI holding. So, John, go ahead and keep that split there. Don't be transferring SUI for Solana. Let's not get carried away with how good those lower caps are going to be. I think that's all the super chats. Let me know, Tshroom, if you see some others. But otherwise, You guys, 1,200 people in here on YouTube, another 200 over on X. Smash that like button if you're enjoying the show. And again, if you guys have questions, we'll keep going as long as there's some good questions and you guys are healthily engaged and smashing the like. We'll keep going today on the show because there's a lot to get through. But I'm going to throw it back over to my man, Tshroom. Got more thoughts and news to cover in your crypto markets.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to a little bit of the digest of the big upcoming event at the end of the month with the Federal Reserve. That's right, the FOMC decision. But we have some breaking news before we get to the FOMC decision anticipation. Senator Cynthia Lummis says the FDIC whistleblowers claim the agency is destroying documents related to digital assets. Now, there's just going to be an absolute flurry of conspiracy theories around this one. I don't even know what to make of this. This isn't something that I was anticipating at all. But if you think about it, the FDIC was not very popular in 2023 when there were a bunch of large institutional banks that went bankrupt and had to be bought and bailed out by larger banks. So FDIC already wounded, already a little bruised in recent memory. This could potentially push it further across the brink. Here we go. Positive news. Fed Governor Waller sees potential for multiple interest rate cuts in 2025. Of course, the market in December kind of had to reprice, kind of had to understand and digest what Jerome Powell meant in his press conference. And essentially it meant no cuts in January. That is what the betting market here and poly market has been predicting ever since that. In fact, I don't think that this number has really changed much. It's been 97% every time that I've checked it over on poly markets. And indeed, if you look at the chart, pretty much see it's been flat ever since January 10th. So yeah, ultimately here, I don't think we're going to get a cut in January. The decision is, I believe it's January 29th. So we'll be going live for that. Make sure you tune in. But this is bringing hope to the markets that are extremely dependent on credit availability and cheaper debt, cheaper money. And this is Fed Waller kind of throwing them a bone a little bit. So Tim, what do you think this means, and how many cuts do you think we end up getting?
Yeah, I retweeted this earlier today when Watchdog Guru reposted it. And it reminded me, like about a week ago, I think it might have been 2 weeks ago at this point, but a week ago or so, the Bank of America report came out saying that they're expecting no cuts in the year 2025 whatsoever. Well, then, of course, you take a look at what Tshroom was showing you, or if you were to go to the CME Futures tool, you can go to my screen quickly here, Smay. We're seeing the CME Futures tool predict the most likely outcome for the end of the year is that we're only down to 4 to 425. Currently, we're trading. Oh, they can't see it. Currently, we're trading at 425 to 450. So, while there's a long way to go out, you have Bank of America predicting no cuts, right? CME Futures saying the most likely outcome is one cut. But now we have one of the people, and you go off my screen now, Smay. Now we have one of the people actually sitting on the board, actually a part of the voting process, meets with the other ladies and gentlemen that make these votes at least on a weekly basis, right? He's saying that there could be a reason to have 3 or 4 cuts. What do I do with this information? It ultimately lets me know nobody has a flying clue. Say some bad words there. No one knows anything about what's going to happen. Nobody knows what 2025 is going to look like from an economic standpoint. I mean, yesterday we had CPI numbers come out that were a little wonky. Core inflation is down, but regular inflation is up. Unemployment seems to be under control, but yet people are freaking out about that. We have no earthly idea what actually 2025 is going to look like. And to me, people can take that a lot of ways. I look at that as being bullish. Why? Because the markets right now, poly market, CME futures, they are predicting 0 to 1 cut as the most likely outcome, which means anything more than that is absolutely bullish. We're rallying despite the fact that people are not convinced we're going to have cuts. So if this is absolutely true, if we're going to get 3 or 4, that will only make these coins go higher because of added liquidity. And with the new government and what's going to be happening, it's not completely up to them. Obviously, Jerome Powell and the Fed, they have to make the final decision on how many cuts we have this year. But if I was going to be a betting man, and I don't know who wants to bet against me, and I'm not going to put any money on this for real, but I would bet somewhere in the middle, 2 to 3. Not 3 to 4, not 0 to 1. I think by the end, in December of 2025, we will have seen 2 maybe 3 rate cuts by the end of the year, because I think there's going to be times we're bullish, times we're bearish, times we think the economy's good, times we think the economy's bad, times when the market gets a little overextended, a little overbought, and it's actually good that the Fed kind of says, hey, we're going to take some time to pause and not do anything. And then other times the market's maybe lagging and boring, and people are getting really concerned, and then the Fed comes in and says, hey, we're going to cut rates. We're going to cut rates and spark this economy once again. Because no matter who you are, Republican, Democrat, Fed, whatever you are, nobody wants to see the American economy struggle. Nobody wants to see people lose money. I know people think that that's what people want to think, but nobody wants to see that. We just all have different ideas about how to protect the economy. My prediction, 2 to 3 cuts by the end of the year, and that's extremely bullish.
Yeah. There's some good quotation here from a CNBC article of Fed Waller, just to give a little bit more meat to the bones. He said, as long as the data comes in good on inflation or continues on that path, then I can certainly see rate cuts happening sooner than maybe the markets are pricing in. He said that on Squawk on the Street. If the data doesn't cooperate, then you're going to be back to 2 and going maybe even to 1 if we get a lot of sticky inflation. Right now, I think inflation is going to continue to come in towards our target. The year-over-year stickiness that we saw in 2024, I think, will start to dissipate. So I may be a little more optimistic about inflation coming down than the rest of my colleagues, and that's what's driving my outlook for the path of policy. So a very fair, balanced analysis there from Fed Waller, saying, showing his optimism, but then qualifying that bank, saying, I'm also one of the more optimistic Fed board members.
The last thing I'll say on this, and I think we'll move on and get into some other topics, but it'll be interesting to watch how Trump and his administration move on with the tariff conversation. We're gonna find out how much was bark and how much was bite. And something we've kind of hypothesized on this channel before is Trump and all of his threats of tariffs just his bark, his coming out and trying to get what he wants. I think a lot of the world, they might understand that tariffs wouldn't be great for the American people because it would cause inflation to spike, but it'd be even worse for their economies. I wonder if he's successful in potentially getting a little more of what he wants and putting less tariffs out there, keeping those really low. I mean, that's what Jerome Powell and the Fed have said. Their concern is the tariffs. If Trump holds off, if he's able to use these threats and get what he wants and holds off on actually executing the tariffs, things could get very, very bullish very fast. So I think that's going to be a big factor to watch here. How many tariffs or what tariffs are enacted in the year 2025 could have a major implication on what the Fed rate's going to be at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tim, you mentioned it already, but we've been telling you all here at the Investing Bros channel, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in, but we've actually got a special treat. We are opening the chapter on a brand new project here in the Investing Bros universe, and that is, if you go to my screen, the Alpha Bros channel. So this is a brand new channel. We've already got 2 subscribers.
Well, you haven't even subscribed. Look at that, Tshroom. You didn't subscribe.
I will.
Subscribe.
I will. And this is the video that is all, it's ready to go. It's going to be posted at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's when you can go join in, probably right around the end of this video or a little after. But it is about Ondo Unlock Explained and details a lot more than that. So we're really excited for this. Obviously, you can see there, Crux is on the thumbnail. You haven't been seeing a lot of him here on the live show, and here's why, is because he's been busy at work making these videos really, really great. So definitely go check those out. Where do you find it? At alpha_bros. Just search for Alpha Bros on YouTube, and you should be able to find it. And we'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, we'll drop a link.
That also will be helpful.
Speaking of, there's a super chat here that said January 18th, 2.5 billion Ondo tokens worth 3.12 billion will be unlocked. Be careful, buy the dip after January or after 19th of January. Couple things here. CryptoCoin Sep TR. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. There probably will be some form of a dip. We might have to do Ondo TA here in a couple minutes just to take a look at what is doable, what's happening there. That is not how that's going to work. And Crux's video is going to be really good at explaining just what you need to know about that unlock. So if you are an Ondo holder, if you are concerned about this unlock that's happening and you want to know the details of it, make sure to go check out his video here. That's going to be going live just after the live show is done here. I'll be doing a price prediction video with this recent updated information and research that Crux has done next week. What I will tell you In a nutshell, though, that Ondo unlock is not as clean cut as some people are making it to believe. It's not that they're dumping that much tokens and diluting the current market cap by that much. There are details to it that people are not really understanding. It is not going to have a massive crash. In fact, I do believe this could be a situation in which some institutions who love the future of Ondo, some whales who want to buy cheap Ondo, will take advantage of the retail's fear and uncertainty about what the future looks like. They're going to let retail sell. They're going to buy up that dip, and then they're going to send the price soaring to the upside. And all the while, retail investors, they thought they were supposed to wait for this massive correction that never ends up coming. Be cautious. I'm not going to tell you don't do it at all. Be cautious about taking profits on Ondo to buy a much larger dip. You might not get as low as you would think. But with that said, you know what? Actually, we're going to not do Ondo TA today. And the reason why is because I want you guys to watch that video and then watch my price prediction video from next week. But let's get back into the news here with Tshroom. Any other stories that we need to cover here before we get into some Q&A and dive into the people's coins?
Yeah, so two more stories. I'll go through them quick here, bros. Strap in because some of these are actually quite bullish. Pro crypto Tom Emmer has been appointed as vice chairman of the subcommittee on digital assets, financial technology, and artificial intelligence. Wait, Tshroom, I didn't know there was a congressional subcommittee for artificial intelligence and digital assets. Well, there is now, and it's all coming in under this new president who maybe you like, maybe you don't like, but definitely doing the things that make a lot of sense from a governing standpoint. But there he is, Tom Emmer, the future of Congress and legislative logic when it comes to not just digital assets, but also fintech and artificial intelligence, AI. So he's got quite a bit on his shoulders to carry. Now, there's also another gentleman, Goldman, almost called him Goldman Sachs, David Sachs, who's one of the main hosts at the All In podcast, and he hasn't been on the podcast in almost 4 weeks now, going on 5 weeks, and that's because he is he I can't remember his exact title, but he is the crypto czar, I believe is his title. So these two men and these two new institutions, one is a subcommittee of Congress, one is a crypto czar, not exactly sure, kind of a Doge type of organization under the executive branch. They're going to be coming together and essentially pumping our bags, right? Just to put it simply. So that's going to be really good. The other headline is about Coinbase. But Tim, did you want to comment there on what could be happening with Tom Emmer and a new congressional subcommittee?
So let's watch and see what exactly. There's so many things to be bullish on. You can only track so many bullish headlines and things at a time. So we'll watch how that one plays out.
Yeah, believe it or not, there's actually two entire major headlines that we left out of today's show. We'll put them in the Discord for you all, but just for the sake of time. Coinbase launches Bitcoin loans for U.S. users. That's right, Bitcoin loans from Coinbase. The innovation allows users to borrow USDC against their Bitcoin holdings and is available to U.S. customers only. The company stated that users can borrow up to $100,000 in the USDC stablecoin using their Bitcoin as the collateral. This is a pretty crazy, exciting one. And it looks like it's this company here, Morpheo Labs, I should say. Morpheo Labs. It doesn't look like they have a token. Crux maybe can verify that 100%, but I couldn't find a token, but it is on Ethereum. So it's on Ethereum and it's on Ethereum's layer 2 base there. So Coinbase, of course, is the arbiter of this. And this is something that's been anticipated for a long time. I'm surprised it's Coinbase that's offering this. I would have thought it would have been BlackRock or MicroStrategies that is offering for retail to be able to take out loans on their Bitcoin. You might be scratching your head. What does this even mean? Think about it like a reverse mortgage, right? That's probably the most common way that people that retail thinks about taking out loans on their assets. Mm-hmm. So it's like a reverse mortgage. If you have paid off your home or you've paid off a lot of it, you can go to the bank and say, "Hey, I want $100,000 of the equity that's in my home, and if I don't pay it back, you get my home," basically. So that's kind of what's going on here. There's a lot of reasons why you would want to do this, right? If you have a bunch of Bitcoin, right, and you don't have any dollars, that can be difficult because the world still trades in dollars. Well, now you can go to Coinbase and say, "Hey, give me a bunch of money, give me $100,000, right? And if I don't pay you back, you get my Bitcoin, right?" And then you can use that money to go to the grocery store or buy a house or whatever you want to do. It's pretty impressive, and it's a little bit shocking to me that Coinbase came out, or I might even say was allowed to come out with this product first for retail.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong here, Tshroom, but there's also this level when you borrow at your Bitcoin. You want to be, I don't think this is the worst time to do it, but like what you would not want to do is you would not want to take a loan out against your Bitcoin at all-time high, right? Or at what will be the all-time high, right? So there were lots of people who got over leveraged and wrecked by taking out loans against Bitcoin back in November, December 2021, right? That time period where the top was in, it was going nothing but down. The best time to take a loan is at the bottom of bear markets, right? So anyone who were to take a loan like November of 2022, they, as long as they're able to make the payments, I'm assuming, their Bitcoin portfolio just added. But like if you were to take leverage out against your Bitcoin at a top and then price gets slashed by 50%, it can be pretty brutal. So even with this news, I want to preach caution. Do your research, calculate, plan for the worst when you're taking loans out against your Bitcoin. But if you're able to do it wisely and time it correctly and protect yourself against any catastrophe, it is a great advantage to be able to, that's part of crypto. That's part of what am I looking for? Capitalism. The concept and ability to borrow money to build wealth. If you know how to do it, and you know how to run it, you can do very well for yourself, invest in the right things, build even more wealth. But it is a risk that you need to be aware of and be prepared for all the consequences. So good stuff there, Tshroom. I do believe that sums up and wraps up all of our news for the day. We did get Crypto Concept TR. He just became a BROZ YouTube member. Shout out to him. Love seeing that. Someone else, he just also gifted 10 Investing Bros memberships. That is so awesome. Love seeing that. I was going to say, speaking of a giveaway, and I'll read some of these names in a second, then we're going to do HBAR TA, and you guys should start dropping coins you want to see technical analysis on. Alpha Bros, again, if you want to find out more about Ondo and the details there, and then other coins as well, again, Alpha Bros is where we're going to be putting out a lot of fundamental information about cryptocurrency, right? Investing Bros, we'll focus on coins, we'll focus on price action, we'll focus on news. But if you want to actually understand what you're investing in when you buy one of these coins, Alpha Bros is the channel for you. I saw that the subscribers are piling up. I just dropped the link not that long ago here in chat, but I'm going to do a challenge. We will do an $100 giveaway, right? We have over 1,000 people still watching right now. If you guys click on that Alpha Bros link and go subscribe right now, we will do an $100 giveaway if we get to 500 subscribers in the next hour or so, right? So we got to get there in the next hour. And we got to easy to do it right here. And you will have to watch the video and comment down below on the Ondo Unexplained video. But if we have 500 subscribers, we will give one subscriber from the Alpha Bros $100. Go subscribe right now if you want to see that. Let's get in here and what did I just do? I don't know what okay, well, whatever. We're gonna get in here and do some HBAR technical analysis. I messed up my thing for chat, Tshroom. So if anyone chats anything interesting, let me know, because I clicked on the thing and it went away from me. Oh, there it is. No, I fixed it. Okay, we're good. All right. Yeah, let's look at HBAR right here. And right off the bat, there's something I want to point out to you guys. We're looking without even pulling up Luxalgo yet. Just three different things to keep an eye on for potential bullish price action here on HBAR. The first thing is symmetrical triangle pattern. Let's turn this green just to find those similarities. If you want to be very conservative here, this right here would call for a price breakout somewhere in the world, conservatively up here at 50.9 cents for HBAR, right? We've just broken out of this longer term symmetrical triangle pattern. That's a short. That's the easy price prediction with very conservative breakouts. We're not only getting this breakout, we're getting higher volume coming in, confirming it. I'm sure if I went to the 4-hour chart, that would be verified. Yeah, there we go. Higher volume coming in the breakout. This is a great move for HBAR. But let's get a little more aggressive than that. You could come down here and look at this move right here from November 26th and say, all right, that's a pretty explosive move. Before we even had that symmetrical triangle, this would be called a bull pennant. I'm going to call this my conservative bull pennant, but it's still a bull pennant. This would give us a price prediction for HBAR, not so distant future, up here towards 84 cents, right? A level we talked about before on 92. Is that a former high? I don't know what this is referencing. I can't remember why I had 92 cents. No, that would be a brand new all-time high, and we went that high. But anyway, 50 cents, we're coming back up to the level of getting back towards all-time highs. But with HBAR here, we could see 84 cents with a, again, conservative bull pennant. But then you take a look even more so, even though we had a little bit of hesitancy in this camp, there's going to be others who are looking at all the way back to November 5th, very similarly to XRP. And if you're watching the HBAR chart and the XRP chart, let me show you XRP real quick. Not that different. Not that different whatsoever. If this does end up happening and this very long-term bullish perspective plays out, again, this would be something I would be saying, hey, look for this maybe summertime, right? Probably not March, but $2.50 for HBAR. Summer to fall is what I would say for this one. That's what we're looking at, and just the pattern of what's developing here on HBAR. But you love to see it. But to move this, let's just go ahead and let's put something up here so we're aware of that. And I'm going to get rid of this green line because that's going to be in the way. $2.50, give or take. Interesting, explosive move for HBAR. Currently only trading at 38 cents. You'd love to see it. All right, let's see what is happening with Lux. I'll go really quickly, and then we'll move on. I love what's happening with the RSI and the MACD. Bouncing and running off this 50 line and now getting some movement. The MACD crossed bullish for the first time since way back here. Guess when? November 5th. Oh, you love to see it. And then you come in here and look at Lux Algo. Now, we never got any green reversals, right? So we don't have bullish divergence. We don't have a reversal. But we do have is the oscillator starting to make moves back to the upside, breaking a structure that had been in play. It does look like the money flow is close to wanting to be going to the upside, in which this isn't going to be your strongest buy signal in the world, but you are going to want to say, hey, keep an eye on beginning to stretch and break out of these red clouds right in here. Again, the top end of those coming in around 50 cents, kind of matching up with the symmetrical triangle breakout here. But that's what you get. When you get a rough buy signal on the oscillators, we have a buy signal here on the daily chart. I'm going to keep my eyes towards the top of that red cloud for a breakout prediction there. As far as lower time frames, let's just kind of see what the 4-hour and 1 hour are saying. You do see, just like the others, not a sell signal, but it is overextended, right? RSI is telling us 100% overbought. The Luxago oscillator is giving us reversals. The oscillator's not bearish. The money's not bearish, but we are overextended. So you don't want to keep an eye on these lower time frames to see if any pullback is needed. And there's no sell signal currently on the 1 hour chart because we're still building our money flow. But guess what we see right here? Excessive buyers. A bullish bubble is forming kind of right here on HBAR. So if that does pop, and I would be surprised if it doesn't, what you are looking for is just a pullback, casually back to the 1 hour smart trail, somewhere in the world of 35 to 34 cents. With it still climbing, I'm going to put my money on 35 being the better option of the two. So that's what I'm looking at for HBAR. I'm very, very bullish on it, but if you want to be patient, there are things developing that says we could, keyword here, could pull back as low as 35 cents, but there's no guarantee there. Again, bull market, sometimes what ends up happening is we just trade sideways. We wait for the smart trail to catch up to us. The sell signal is a very weak sell signal, and then all of a sudden, the oscillator's cooled off so much, we get another big run to the upside. So don't be betting against HBAR. I would not be shorting it, but I would be saying, hey, I like the future of HBAR. I like that concept of $2.50, maybe by summer or fall. I'm going to look to acquire some now and possibly even around 35 cents as my buying spot for long-term HBAR. We got another super chat in here. GFI, Goldfinch, also U.S. California-based company, a real-world asset DeFi stablecoin, staking, and in close radar of BlackRock, still cheap. GFI Goldfinch. All right. I think I've heard of that one before, but I can't remember where. I saw another one. Someone said, Jesse Rico said, 88 TA, please, and thank you. I think we're going to do this. I think we're going to do Cardano TA. And then get our factoid and probably call it a day here as we're, over 4 o'clock at the moment. I want to send you guys over to the Alpha Bros show, which again, let's get to 500 subscribers and we're going to give somebody $100. Nick, congratulations, by the way, Crypto Coin Sep TR's gift. Nikki Matu, French Toaster, Michael S, Win-Win Situation, 17,000 Islands, Skillful Noobs, Moho, Bobby Johnson, and Under the Gun with Crypto Bullets. All were gifted memberships. Congratulations to you guys. Thank you again for gifting those. Let's check out this Cardano technical analysis, and we'll call it a day here with the TA. By the way, if you guys want more of this technical analysis, this is ongoing over in our, I was trying to look for Cardano. This is ongoing over in our Discord. I kind of threw out the idea this morning as well, or earlier today. What I might start doing with our free Discord group is making a link to an unlisted YouTube video, a live stream, right? The only place you're going to find that link is if you're in our Discord. If you sign up for our free Discord, I'm not going to go 5 days a week. I might only start with 1 or 2 days a week, but I will, especially on mornings like this morning, times where something happened overnight and there's big price action, I'll go live for 10, 15, heck, maybe 20 minutes in the morning, giving you my thoughts on what the charts are doing, what the news means, so you don't have to wait all the way till 3 p.m. But I'm only going to do that for our Discord members. So I encourage you to go sign up for that down below. Sullen with the super chat said, you guys, wait, you heard of PNG on AVAX? It's a DEX token. I have heard of it. I don't invest in coins that small, but I have heard of that. Let's go to Cardano TA, and we'll call it a day here with technical analysis here on the live YouTube show. Breaking out above resistance here at the moment. Again, we have been tracking on Cardano, a falling channel similar to other things we were looking at. Let's change this one to green just to keep that one going. Again, falling levels of support. Most likely, I really could pull that up here. Falling levels of resistance. We are breaking out. The question I would ask, are we breaking out with extended volume? I wouldn't call this high volume yet. So even though we're breaking out right now, this kind of goes back to some things we've talked about in the past. You don't want to ape into something just because resistance is broken. Now, the space as a whole looks to be going up, but in theory, I'm teaching you guys the technical analysis here. Without the high volume, you could at least pull back here to form a resistance and turn into support. Or you could end up falling back inside the formation, right? There's nothing about this right now that says we have to say this is over. Again, the 4-hour chart has open and closed a candle above, and you'll love to see that. But if I go to the daily candle, we just have a candle above that level. I would like to see I would like to see Cardano not only close today above roughly $1.08. I'd love to see all of tomorrow do that, but even more so, I'd like to see high volume start to scoop in here on Cardano. That to me would be the confirmation to enter into a longer term trade here. What's that longer term trade? Well, you scroll out here. Cardano has its own little bull flag going on, not a bull pennant like XRP, but a bull flag where you have a nice flagpole. You have your flag pattern, your channel developing. You move this over. This would be a price. We actually could go right to here. This would give us a price prediction on Cardano up to $3.58. That's a little rich, in my opinion, for March for Cardano. I think 2.50, maybe pushing towards $3 by March would be interesting for Cardano. But hey, things can start flying very, very quickly. But before you confirm this breakout and trade based off of it, you do want to see high volume come in on that breakout itself. We start to look at the oscillators again. This is a bull cycle, so don't go crazy here. But you are seeing some signs that we're overextended here on the 4-hour chart. No bubble, so I do like that detail. But we're extended. We have a lot of reversals coming in. The money flow is high once again. Let's see what the 1-hour chart's saying, though, because that's not the worst chart for a 4-hour chart. All right, come out. Now let this reload. All right, let's take a look at the 1-hour chart. Reversal, bearish momentum, but that money flow still going positively. Yeah, it would make sense with the low volume for us to pull back. I wonder, I'm gonna go a little lower than I've gone with others. I wonder if there's a sell signal on any low time frames. You do have a bearish cross on the MACD on the 30-minute, but that happens a lot. You don't have the Luxago oscillator selling just yet. It's close. That money flow is close to going negative. What about the 15-minute chart? Let's see what this one does. Yeah, we do have a sell signal on the 15-minute chart. So watch this. I'll kind of monitor this in our Discord as well for our VIP trading group. This has the feeling like it needs to come back down here towards this resistance level. Look at that 15-minute smart trail right there. It needs to come back down towards 108. Unless it wants to pick up the volume right now, I would not be surprised in the least to see Cardano retest former resistance, turn it into support, then start to pump with high volume, and all of a sudden we're off to $2, then $2.50, then $3, and so on and so forth to the upside. So that's going to wrap up our technical analysis here today. Thank you so much, everybody. Smash that like button if you guys have enjoyed the show so far. Now it's time to throw it over to Smay for our factoid of the day. What's going on, Smay? How you doing?
Hi, I'm
There
here.
he is.
And before we get into the factoid of the day, Tim, I'd just like to say, guys, we offer, like Tim was talking about earlier, a free Discord that is quite literally the bomb diggity. So please go check that out. And Tim is talking about doing some exclusive streams for you guys. So definitely go check that out and take advantage of that. But without further ado, let's go over to the factoid. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I did it again, guys. I did it again. Okay. You didn't see that? You didn't see that?
I didn't see anything.
Okay, well, anyways, I'll go ahead and we're in the factoid brought to you guys by decrypted.tax, and I will read it. Which of the following happened in a famous Bitcoin transaction that drew public attention? A. Over 100,000 Bitcoin moved for a fee of less than $5. B. A single user destroyed 1 million in Bitcoin as a protest. C. A wallet disappeared from the blockchain with no trace. Or D. A global charity set a record distributing 10,000 Bitcoin to the needy.
Well, now we ask the question: was the first thing shakeout? Was it a planned shakeout? This is the second time it's happened. Did Smay just plan this ahead of time that he wants us to think it's D? Although D makes sense, so it might have just been another slip up. D makes sense. I was also going to say, yeah, I don't know about 1 million being destroyed as a protest. I think there's other things that have destroyed $1 million worth of Bitcoin.
I think C is impossible as well. Charlie is impossible.
Wallet disappeared from the blockchain with no trace. Yeah, I don't think that's possible. I think we rule that one out. Over 100,000 Bitcoin moved at a fee of less than $5. Well, that did happen early days. I don't know if it was enough to make it a big event that draws a lot of attention, which makes me think it's not that one either. So I'm thinking it was not a trickaroo. I think D, a global charity, set a record distributing 10,000 Bitcoin to the needy. Makes the most sense. My only question about it would be, if they're so needy, why do they have crypto wallets? I don't know. Like, how did they distribute it? But let's go D. Let's not overthink it. You got to take the gimmies when you can get them. We're gonna go with D.
All right, we're going D. All righty. Without further ado, it's A.
It was a trick. Okay, I knew it.
4D chess, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing too. I just want to show you guys. I intentionally made it seem when I was distracted. I come and I talk about the Discord. I'm all distracted. I'm all discombobulated. Of course he messed up because he's all discombobulated. Nope, I was on it this whole entire time, and here we are. You guys got it wrong. So, anyways, with that being said, back to you guys.
Yeah, He got us. Okay. And you know what's the worst part about the fact that he got us is that I was on to him. I didn't buy his slip. He's a good actor, but he's not that good of an actor. I was onto it. But I blame myself.
Wow.
I blame myself for this loss, Tshroom, and I do apologize.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, we're gonna wrap up today's show. Any last words from you, Tshroom, before we wrap it out?
Those of you who have listened to us, as we said, hodl on, have already been rewarded. There's a feeling of relief, especially for XRP holders, as we're seeing, prices move higher. We saw Chainlink have a nice pump yesterday for sure. We're not coming out. We're not saying these things just for our health. We really do truly believe that FUD happens. You have to ignore it and move on. And listen, when we see headlines that we don't identify as FUD, we will let you know. For example, when Germany started selling and there was actually transactions showing that it was selling, we'll let you know. And that is bearish pressure. That is actual sellers entering the market. We have not seen that, right? We're just seeing threats. And these threats follow a pattern that is easy to identify. So hodl on, bros, and stay positive. Touch grass. Going into the weekend, you did it. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. I wanted to tell you guys, we got over 100 subscribers. Share my screen here real quickly, Smay. Over 100 subscribers already. Again, when Tshroom debuted it had 2 subscribers. We've gained 100 since then. I'm going to give you guys till the end. I'm going to give you guys till tomorrow's show. 24 hours. 24 hours. So if you're watching right now, or if you're watching back later, go subscribe to the Alpha Bros. There's going to be a link in the description down below. We're going to add it if it's not already there. Go subscribe. 500 in the first 24 hours, and we will give somebody $100. One of the subscribers of the Alpha Bros. Listen, we get to 500. You got a 1 in 500 chance. You can't ruin those odds. Go subscribe to the Alpha Bros. The rest of you guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Love you guys. Adios.